bet you guys are going to want to know what that is. I'm fixing to tell you. This fender was walloped like no fender's ever been walloped. Rough and bumpy. At some point there's a huge dent. They beat the crap out of it, filled it with Bondo. So I flattened it better and filled it with Bondo. Sanded it down, and it still felt funny. So I found some high spots, holly and dammered them a little bit, got them smoothed out, another thin layer of Bondo. So you see these ridges from me putting the filler on. Well, all I've got here is a cheese grater, okay? Well, it's supposed to be held in this thing, and a little welded thing on the end broke, so it's junk. But I thought, well, I'll start, you know, just using it like this. Still works, because I'm that kind of guy. And I just want to take those high ridges off, right? Notice how I have my hands just firmly pressured. And I noticed in the last video when I was doing around that grill, I thought, man, that thing really does hold its shape. And it'd be hard, it's hard for me to put a fingerprint in it, you know, like a flat piece of sandpaper. You're not supposed to use your fingers because you'll put little mild grooves in it and you'll see it in your bodywork when it's painted and shiny. This, you couldn't do that if you tried. I guess you could if you push really hard, but would it be good for a sanding block? We're going to find out, because I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. We're going to try it together. Let me get this knocked down, get it. Now we might have to let it sit a little bit longer before I go sanding on it because it's still soft. The cheese grater works best right as that body filler is starting to set up just a little bit. And it's, you know, still a little bit soft, so. Don't leave your chunks in there, use a wire brush. If you don't, they're hard to get out. That stuff hardens up, gets plugged up in there, and then you do like me and have to go to the wire wheel over the bench grinder and get it all out of there. I'm just using light pressure. And I'm going from here to here. That's going to give me a level between here and here that's kind of the same. So I can feel there's some highs and lows in there. Something round like this is pretty tough. You know, I mean, you saw me before, I use a flat block, which is hard. It doesn't conform anything, so if you go quickly over it, it kind of does okay. I really like the soft block. The problem with the soft block is it's soft. Right? So if everything's not uniform, all on the same plane, guess what? It goes just like the plane that's screwed up that you already started with. So we want something flexible, but hard. See a little bit of high spot right there, that's okay. I'm just kind of conforming it to what I want. There's, see right here is a little high ridge. It's a little easier once that stuff starts, once that body filler starts to harden up, I can go a little bit smoother and quicker. Yeah, use your hands, because if you can't see it, you can probably feel it. All right. Feels better. A little lumpiness going on to it. So let's try this. All right? Stick with me. We're getting there. Don't want any lumps of body filler stuck on there. I don't know, like I said, experimental with Junks Automotive. Piece of 40. All right? If I can get it off there. Should have planned this out better, huh? Like already had the paper peeled off of it. Now, so what I'm doing is kind of getting the conformity, and it'll stick in that shape, right? Let's fold this over. I just feel like my gut's telling me fold that over. Stick the ends together so that it sort of stays together. Now I'm just going to put my hand on that. Again, I'm using light pressure. Just like I did without the sandpaper. Get my arms in a full extension. I want this pattern to this area to be, you know, the travel as far as I can make it. It's really getting there. See, if I was using a soft block, that metal is harder than the Bondo, so it would start digging the Bondo out, right out of that. Something nice and hard like this. It's going to hit that metal and stay high. I'm going to stop right there. This feels a little high right there. All right. Let's get rid of the 40. This whole car needs down 80 grit. 80 grit's what we want because I'm putting high build polyester primer right into that 80 grit. I want it to stay on there. Let's see what the 80 does. Fold her over, just like the 40. I don't want to go too much like that, which you kind of could, but I don't want to get a ripple in my paper. Still feels a bit like a high spot right there. Of course, it is what it is. You can see it. So I may tacky. We can take our body hammer. Use that little point right there. Not the flat side, just the corner of it. Get a little more Bondo in there. I'm not scared. I'll do it. If we go ahead and prime it, thinking that our high build is going to make up for it, we're probably not going to be happy with ourselves. Just staying right where I see the metal. This is Bondo previously done. It had a high spot right there. I can feel it. Where the Bondo was a little bit thick. Yep. Let's tack that down. Get a little more Bondo on there. But I think it works pretty nice. What do you think? Let me know down in them comments, because you know, you guys probably have one of these in your toolbox. Huh? Paint stick would work good, and it only flex just a little bit. So this will flex quite a bit. Nope, too tacky. Gotta wait. All right, same process. It's not sticking to my hands anymore, so I'm gonna go for it. Our disjointed cheese grater. Just gonna knock the high spots off first. Feels pretty good. There's a little bit of a wave there. Right here's a low spot. So I'm gonna stop. Just, I mean, man, this poor fender. Anyway, you get my point. I think this is sort of like the multi-tool for bodywork. It's a bicycler's joke. All right, well, so we got our top part of our fender pretty close. Pretty good for the first couple passes. It'll need a little bit dolling up, but we're gonna move on for your sake. A piece of styrofoam. It's just a nice piece of packaging, square kind of thing, you know. What I want to do is get this line kind of defined up. There's a little Bondo inside here where all this bottom was welded in. So I want to 80 grit that and kind of get it straightened out a little bit. And what I did was used a piece of 150 and got my little profile dug on there. Works pretty easy, sands really easy. Just kind of get it to where you think you want it. And this is a trick that I actually learned this from my friend Pete. So, and what I've noticed though is when you use this loose, it's a very firm, loose styrofoam. This paper will just rip it off, and so get you a couple chunks of it, or save that piece and that piece of styrofoam for the same thing on the other side. So let's see how this goes. Just looking at it, it looks pretty right. The rest of it I can block out how I want. I'll zoom you in there, you're going to be able to see expert camera work over here, Junk. You can kind of see where the metal starts, where the Bondo is. Bondo's right here in the middle. This is the weld line. And that's what I want. I can't feel anything, so then I'll just, you know, block the rest of it in a regular block. You could use that if you wanted to. All right, while we're talking about funny sanding blocks, Bondo squeegee. It's a brand new one. They're actually kind of stiff, especially you put a piece of 80 grit folded over on the end. The reason is right down here I can't get to it. Now the fenders are going to come off and all that. I want to get this all dolled up, get all my polyester primer done, get it blocked out, including all this stuff. And then once we get all that done, we'll put our 2K high build urethane primer. Then we'll take everything off, do all our edges, edge everything in body color. That's probably a long ways from now. Anyhow, I like doing this so I can get down in there and clean up those rough edges. You can get your crosshatch going on too. And it's flexible enough to kind of go around those curves. Get down in there and get that stuff cleaned up. These hard to get to places are the time-consuming things. I got some on that fender. Now we're going to use our homemade blocks and actually give you a visual. I can feel, but from where you're at, I'm pretty sure you can't feel what I'm doing over here. So we'll let this dry, and I have one more special block for you. Yep. All right, guide coat's dry. Here's what I wanted to show you. This is a piece of mud flap. See how thick it is? I can't deform it with just my fingers, right? So I thought, while I was thinking about strange things to use as blocks, I bought some mud flaps for the old Airstream out there. I don't want those Yosemite Sam bang, bang, bang mud flaps. Well, the only ones I could find that were real rubber and the real deal were for a semi, so I had to cut them down, right? Make them fit the Airstream because it's not a semi. So I have all this rubber left. I thought, well, I'll keep it around for something because I don't get rid of nothing. I keep all the junk. So let's just, and I know that right here is from where I roughed it out. It's little flat spaces that go like that, you know. Ah. All right, let me get you in here a little bit closer and show you what's going on. You can obviously see the way that it is, right where I could feel the high spots and the low spots. Now you can see the same thing I'm feeling. Now I'm just, like I said, even pressure, you know, I can do that with one hand probably. Again, this fender was beat all to heck, just like the rest of the car. See, now this little section feels really smooth. A little bit of a low spot. You can see the metal through here. I still do my cross hatching. I mean, this fender's going to need some work, but you know, little high spots here. I feel like I can trust that, right? And I can use the long block, the good old long block. You know, you kind of do the same thing. It flexes a little bit, but you really have to spread out the mojo. And it kind of works. But when you're, like I said, when your talent level, not yours but mine, is little, anything that helps. There's our cheese grater block. Anything that flexes, but I can't put an impression with it with my finger. So now I know what I got to do here. And I'll keep going till I'm happy with it. So last I checked, 990 subscribers. 10 more subscribers and we're going to have a party. Well, just me. I'm gonna dance and make a fool out of myself. Maybe get the 6-year-old to join. That'd be cool. Give away a bunch of these hats. So we're getting there. Man, thanks everybody for subscribing. It's good to meet you, whoever you are. Comment, like, tell all your friends. Man, go and watch a video and subscribe. Right there. Junk out. I got this whole car to do. I better get busy.